Okay, now let's take the point about the buzzword or the common word that we always hear with our older folks. Penyakit chronic illnesses. Apa ni sebenarnya? Why is it that dia macam, I don't like the word lah basically. Kenapa kita pakai perkataan chronic ni? Chronic opposite of acute lah. Acute tu bila kita sakit, kita rasa at that point, yes, the pain is there, there's an acute pain. Tapi kalau chronic ni, dia berpanjangan, there's no end point. Your comments on this term?
Okay. Okay, chronic maknanya memanglah like you mentioned, tak berkesudahan lah, no end point lah. It's compared to acute, where the illness is happens suddenly. Chronic illnesses happens over time, develops over time. So you cannot expect it to disappear just like that, because it takes years and years for the chronic illnesses to develop. For example, chronic illness, diabetes. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes years of abuse, food abuse and all that before the symptoms start developing. We don't like the term chronic because it suggests that it's not reversible, it's not curable. It suggests a lifetime of taking medication. So you ask yourself, why are we taking all this medication? When it's not improving, it's not curing these illnesses. So we got to go back to how the chronic illnesses happens. So if you were to remove the factors contributing to these illnesses, perhaps there's a chance for this illness to reverse, to go into reverse. I mean, not totally cure, but at least maybe the symptoms will start to lessen. So for instance, we go back to the example of diabetes. It's an illness characterized by elevated or high blood sugar levels. So you got to think back, what makes this blood sugar level rise? Okay, what causes this blood sugar rise? If it's caused by food, what kind of foods? So can we not eat those foods? Because, for instance, if we were to eat a piece of white bread and our blood sugars goes very high, then the logical answer would be, don't eat those. Don't eat those the white bread. So it's something that is still within control. We can choose what to eat, what not to eat. So if it worsens the symptoms, then don't eat it. So instead of just eating medication every day and then eating the way we always do, and then you don't see any changes to your symptoms, every few months you go back to the doctor will just add additional medication. Is that something you want?
Those medicines do not reverse. They just prolong.
They just help cover up the symptoms so that it looks like your blood sugar is okay because you are taking all these medications. It's not curing you.
It's not making the diabetes improving. Nobody says, oh, aku dah kencing manis, aku makan ubat kencing manis, botol kencing manis aku hilang. Nobody says that.
Padahal it's still there.
It's still there.
It's just being masked.
It's just being better controlled. But we now know that it's better blood sugar control, but it doesn't help the disease. Right. So what would help the disease instead of just medication would be lifestyle changes. Because things like pemakanan can be one of them. Apa yang dimakan, bila kita makan, berapa banyak kali kita makan, for example. These are some examples. Macam Yus kata, chronic disease happens bit by bit. It builds up gradually over many years, many decades, and most of it is due to how we live our life, our lifestyle. So if we want to reverse the disease, we must make lifestyle changes.
For that lifestyle change, maybe we can talk about simple tips as how we make this lifestyle change to age better, to age healthier? From that point, maybe we have some tips.
Okay. The most obvious one will be the foods we choose to eat. Okay, avoid processed foods. That means nothing that comes in a packet or can. Processed things that look like food, but it's actually probably not food. If you look at the back of a packaging, it shows a lot of ingredients and maybe some numbers that you don't even know what it is. That is an example of processed food. Okay, so you try to keep your food natural based. So like vegetables, fish, meats, but the way, even all these natural foods, the way they are obtained these days, mainly through industrialized large-scale farming. So there's a lot of things like pesticides for vegetables. You have things like sometimes growth hormones for the poultry. So we also try to minimize our exposure to all this by eating less. Okay, eating less and eating less frequently. So instead of eating 3 meals like we grew up eating, 3 meals a day because that's what they say is good, we should eat less. Okay, I mean if you were to follow sunnah Rasulullah, cara makan mungkin sehari makan sekali atau 2 kali. Okay, jangan makan 3-4 kali, 5 kali.
Right.
Yeah.
Tu muntah ke darah. So makan sekali 2 kali. How does the routine goes for this cara pemakanan yang mengikut jadual ni?
Okay, kalau kita nak start out lah, kalau sebelum ni kita makan for example maybe 3-4 kali sehari, then kita baru dengar ni dapat kalau boleh kurangkan, eat less frequently, makan 2 kali je sehari. It depends on how or what we were before. Kalau let's say kita selalunya bangun je dah makan, what we want to do is try to squeeze the duration between the 2 meals. Kalau let's say dulu bangun pukul 6 pagi, pukul 7 dah makan something, try to delay the breakfast, and the last meal of the day try to bring forward. So kalau dulu makan sampai 11 malam supper kan, ataupun 1 pagi masih makan lagi, try to bring it back down or reduce. So the eating window during the day, the first meal and the last meal we try to shorten, and then gradually over the days kita bring it closer and closer and closer and closer sampai ideally would be 8 jam in the day. First meal, between the first meal and the last meal about 8 hours. So jadi dalam 16 jam tu kita tak makan. Yeah. So that would allow more time for our blood sugar levels to come down. Then macam you kata tadi, avoid processed food kan. Kalau kita makan makanan yang real, tak ada preservative, tak ada processing, tak ada apa, insyaAllah blood sugar akan turun lagi cepat. Jadi kita punya hormone levels apa semua, bodily function semua akan hit normal, and we will feel more energetic, we will have, we will insyaAllah be able to stave off disease, prevent more disease longer.
So like when we delay kita punya our eating pattern it's as good as fasting lah kan?
It's as good as fasting. In puasa sunnah ataupun saum, kita tak makan tak minum, and this also has it is a lot more powerful than yang macam tadi kita sebutkan tu adalah intermittent fasting ataupun time restricted eating. Dalam puasa sunnah ataupun saum atau dalam bulan Ramadan kan, itu walaupun duration dia a lot shorter, maybe 12 hours for us in Singapore. In other areas it might be longer, it might be shorter. Because they don't eat it and don't drink, what happens is that the body starts making its own water and starts tapping into the body fat for stores, and that has been shown to be a lot more powerful than just not eating. So orang-orang yang macam tadi kita cakap, let's say it's not a puasa sunat day, bukan hari putih, bukan hari Isnin, bukan hari Khamis. Jadi kita nak delay breakfast and make dinner faster je. On those days when you still drink water, you can drink water. Minum teh, kopi, tak ada hal. So what you're doing is you're just allowing your energy to stored energy in the form of body fats and all that to be used up by the body. And
itu kan natural burning
natural burning, exactly. Orang selalu cakap pasal nak fat burn, habis diorang makan 6 kali satu hari. It doesn't make sense lah. Macam mana nak burn more fat and then put in more energy kan? So
logic
tak logik. So actually kita patut kurangkan. Yalah.
Yeah. And we did mention earlier about sleeping. That is also a good tip for us to what other things? I mean like selain pemakanan, selain tidur,
physical function cara kita gunakan tubuh badan ni sehari-hari perlu kita lakukan senaman ringan lah, tak payah yang berat-berat, tak payah pergi gym, angkat berat, angkat besi. Kita buat apa yang kita mampu buat. Okay? Kalau kita setakat jalan pun sudah cukup bagus. Satu hari, setiap hari kita jalan setengah jam, kira dah bagus. Kalau kita nak katakan dari sudut Islam, kita punya solat harian, ini bagus untuk melancarkan kita punya sendi-sendi, otot-otot semua sebab dia punya movement banyak pakai bila kita berdiri, rukuk, sujud, lepas tu bangun lagi. Jadi dalam sehari bayangkanlah berapa kali kita buat kita solat Jadi insya-Allah lah kalau kita amalkan solat harian, solat sunnah, kita amalkan jalan kaki lebih atau pergi pasar, angkatlah barang-barang berat semua. Jangan balik rumah jalan kaki lah, bawa barang-barang pasar Jangan naik taksi je selalu. Jadi yalah, benda macam gini lah, tak payah susah-susah sangat lah. Sedangkan daripada kita duduk, kita bangun berdiri, itu dah kira satu senaman. Jadi kalau kita buat beberapa kali, dia macam squat exercise jugalah.
That's the beauty of Islam. I mean, solat, the most basic thing that we have to do is also exercise lah kan.
Exactly.
And I read somewhere quite recent when we talk about eyesight, tiga pakai kacamata. So I read somewhere that bila kita sujud tu, kalau kita sujud dengan mata yang terbuka, we could actually help our eyesight to reset in a way or another. Because dunia sekarang lah, kita punya gadget, we are always facing a lighted screen, and that affects our eyesight lah. So bila kita, I read somewhere in this article, bila kita sujud, the muscles in the eye sends a signal to the brain, then it will be at a rested position for a while. Then bila kita tengok balik, then our eyes are fresher,
helps
in a way
to reset.
So I've been usually tu kita tak sadar lah, but we make it a conscious effort. Bila kita sujud, kita buka mata. Now that I make it a conscious effort, actually dia tahu lah. After like 2-3 hours of facing the screen, yang mata dah start penat kan, dah start squint, dah tak nampak ni. Jadi lepas solat tu it gets better again. So I mean that gradual time, the waktu solat tu, I think it's amazing how it is periodically set for us to take a break. Right?
So, yalah, segala-galanya dah diaturkan dengan yang Maha Kuasa. So, kalau kita ikut je, memang segala-galanya dah diaturkan untuk kebaikan kita secara spiritual, secara emosional, tengah stres, kerja tengah bingit. Lepas tu kita solat, kita perbaiki perhubungan kita dengan Allah Ta'ala, kita dapat reset, dapat rasa tenang balik, dapat rasa yang ya Allah, betapa besarnya masalah aku pada aku, Engkau lah yang Maha Kuasa, aku serahkan kepada Engkau. Jadi selain daripada physical yang tadi kita sebut, spiritual yang kita sebut, emotional yang kita sebut. Ada lagi macam-macam kebaikan dalam benda yang dianjurkan dalam Islam, yang kita dunia sains ni sekarang baru nak ketahui atau baru nak mendalam, baru nak discover. Sebab sebelum ni ni macam kita tahu mesti buat, tapi kita tak tahu apa yang benefit dia lah dalam in scientific terms lah. So now everything is beginning to unfold, and memang banyak lah. So like what you mentioned, eyesight is just one of them. There's many more.
There's many more. Yeah. Okay. Anything to add about tips of aging healthier?
Tadi kita cakap pasal pemakanan, jadi one of the simplest way to maintain a good eating habit is your gigi nak kena jaga. Okay. Gigi tak jaga, gigi sudah hilang, nak makan pun susah. Jadi semasa kita muda ni, gigi nak kena jaga lah.
It was basic of things.
It was basic,
Yang kita selalu tak terfikir.
Itu pun satu, kita pernah nampak Yus ada pesakit dalam umur 80-an, 90-an masih gigi masih penuh lagi. Dan ada 40-50 tahun gigi dah tak ada. And salah satu penyebab dia adalah gula lah, because gula tu dia promote decay dalam gigi. It changes dia panggil bakteria datang attack gigi tu, dan dia changes the pH profile. A lot of physical and chemical changes in the mouth that happens when we eat sugar.
So from that, I take a note. Kecil-kecil dulu orang kata, when we're younger, kecil-kecil orang kata jangan makan gula-gula banyak sangat, gigi rosak.
Yes.
Jangan stop when you're younger. Even when you're older, bukan makan gula-gula. Just control your gula juga. Kan? To maintain your teeth. The basic stuff. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so secara rumusannya, I take it as two things I take away from this conversation today. Kita start early to make sure that we constantly use our body so that we will remember how to use it. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's our takeaway for today. For this conversation on our episode with Mr. Yusri Isnin, and hopefully we have quite good tips today. If you have any questions or want to ask more, just do drop comments on the video. Inshallah we will address it at our next episodes. But before we end, we have something special. We'll be sharing with you. We talk about food, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna share with you a dish that we love, or kita suka lah makan benda-benda macam ini kan.
Kita memang suka makan apa?
Kita hidup untuk makan atau kita makan untuk hidup?
Sepatutnya hidup untuk makan untuk hidup.
Makan untuk hidup. Correct.
Sebab ada satu hadis ni yang menyatakan a few morsels of food is enough to straighten the spine of the sons of Adam alaihissalam.
InsyaAllah.
So actually kita tak perlu banyak makanan. Tapi kalau kita memang suka makanlah juga, tapi agak-agak.
Today with apa ni?
Yalah, sempena tahun baru Islam kan. My wife have buatkan ni bubur Ashura.